in just over 12 hours, we are going to have day 2 of Champions. First game kicking off the day is Zeta Division against Loud. I just wanted to quickly go over these two teams, give you guys a quick summary in case you want to check it out before the game. So, we're going to focus on Zeta at the beginning. We have Depp, Laz, Crow, Sugar Zero, and XDLL. So, this is interesting. XDLL is listed, but actually, I've heard that they have taken 10 to LAN as well. So he might be playing. This is their original lineup, and XDLL was a stand-in or is a stand-in. But 10 was out with an eye injury, something to do with his eye. But I've heard that he is in Istanbul, so potentially we see him play, which would be cool. Which means we have the whole lineup. But that in general just means that I'm a bit worried in terms of practice for this team, and I'm kind of going to go over a few worries a bit later for them. But let's quickly talk about how they got here. Obviously, Masters 1, right? They had the most insane run. They actually managed to come third. We see them taking out everyone. They took out my old team, Liquid, in the playoffs, and then they took over towards DRX, and then actually taking Paper Rex out, one of the favorites, maybe, to be honest, of the LAN, and just having just an insane run. They looked really strong, really kind of put Japan on the map in terms of Valorant, and they just looked great, to be honest. Then going over towards Masters 2, didn't qualify. This is where we kind of saw this was an underdog story, right? Underdog story, no pressure for them. Okay, they then come off. They had a lot of pressure, a lot of eyes on them. They go try and qualify for Masters 2, and we saw the pressure come in, right? Some of these games, for sure, especially like this map, and I think it was this map as well. The pressure looked on for them. There was a big LAN, big crowd. And yeah, and kind of the expectations and just the pressure got to them, and they didn't look like the normal team. So Northeption went, but obviously they didn't do that well at the LAN, and that's why we see them with 475 points. So securing their place in LAN. Yeah, that's pretty much how Zeta got there. Let's look over towards Loud. Okay, we have Sassy, Aspas, Sadak, Pankada, and Les. You got Aspas is pretty much the duelist. Sometimes picks up Chamber, and Les as well is more of the kind of Chamber player, and then Sadak is the IGL. So looking over towards Loud, this is just the team that is just so dominant. They're so dominant in their region. I don't like looking at stats of this team because it's like it feels a little bit inflated just because of how good they are at their region, right? Now they've played, guys, they've played 46 maps, okay, in their region, and they've lost 2. They've never lost a best of 3, and they've only lost 2 maps out of 46. That's just to show like how dominant they are. Going into Masters, again, Masters 1, Reykjavik, insane run from them. This is putting them on the map. Again, beating my old team, Liquid, in the upper bracket, then facing over towards G2, just completely taking out EMEA, beating Optic in the upper bracket, but then when it got to the best of 5, they actually lost, which is kind of interesting considering they had two bans, right? So something that I did note when I was playing against them, especially when I was looking at their ascent, their ascent I felt very confident in the anti strat that I did against them on this map. So I wonder if once Optic had that extra bit of data in terms of this game, they looked back at it and they found some tendencies in their game. So definitely when I've been watching Loud more recently in terms of this event, they definitely looked like they had changed a lot of stuff up. So that gives me a lot of hope going into champs, even though we haven't seen them for a while, right? They straight up bottomed out of this event, got upset by Crew. Optic also getting upset by Guild, which meant that they faced off really early in the lower bracket. So either Optic or Loud, first and second in Masters 1, it had to go out in Masters 2. So a bit unlucky for Loud, but in general, they've had a lot of time, so I'm excited for them. Player to watch for me is Aspas. Mainly Raze player. Raze is very meta at the moment. A really good Raze player. Likes to pick up Jet. Chamber on some maps as well. Just a deadly operator player. I put him in my top 20. I'm not sure exactly where I put him, but I rate him very highly. I think that he's a really strong player, someone to watch out for, and he can honestly carry this team like really heavy. Laz on the other side as well. You guys, you're going to see me just highlight Chamber players all the time. Again, I think Chamber, even with the nerf that came in, I don't think it's enough. I think Tame's just super dominant. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of highlighting these. This is going to be interesting because they have not played for a long, long time. This might be the last time. I mean, this is the last time they played. This might be the team that hasn't shown their officials for the longest. So that's going to be interesting. There's no data. I can't really predict the maps. But talking about the maps, there is something that I wanted to talk about. So I don't want to go too much into map predictions, I think, because there's been like a month plus since we've seen Loud and 2 months plus since we've seen Zeta. I do want to quickly talk about one thing, though, is the Masters 1 Reykjavik run. You will see, right? Split. Okay, that's a bit too big. There we go. Split, right? 13-10 against Paper Rex. DRX as well. Split, third map, 13-4. Okay, and then again, third map over towards Liquid. Trying to hold back the tears for this one, bringing up some memories. 13-7 as well there. So the 3 times they played this in Masters against good teams, they won all of them. So the fact that we now are going to minus Split and plus Pearl, it's gonna be very interesting to see if they've practiced it and if this is gonna hurt, because Split is one of their best maps. So losing one of your best maps and adding in a new map that maybe you don't feel as comfortable on is going to be really interesting. Again, so much time in between these teams. I don't want to go into the maps too much. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm pretty excited. I'm not entirely sure what's been going on. Again, 2 months since we've seen these guys play. 1 month since we've seen Loud play. We could expect anything. The main thing for me, for sure, is 10 going to play? That's the big question that everyone's kind of asking. Yeah, we'll get some answers tomorrow. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I've been getting a lot of subs recently on my YouTube. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for all the nice feedback. And yeah, if you guys want to check out my stream, in about 12 hours' time, I will be doing this game live. So thank you so much.